Alright, here's my Battleship project after almost the final pour. It's the final depth pour. If you look on the edges here, you can see how high it is. It comes just over the top of the surface of the deck wood, which is at the top and bottom of this, if you couldn't tell. So this is going to sit up and cure overnight. Next step is to pop it out of this mold. I'm going to trim this edge. I'm going to trim this edge, the bottom, and the top. Because if you look right here, there's a little gap. So this mold, it does a little bit of over pour, and you'll just strip the edges off right there. And once I do that, I can sand it down, and then I'll do one more final flood coat over the top, which is going to be a real thin, small layer like so, over this entire piece. That way it goes, because after I trim the edges, it's going to expose the edge of this wood, the epoxy, which is this clear 1/2 inch. Oh no, I'm sorry. The clear is 3/4 inch. The blue down there is about a 1/2 inch. And once I pour that top layer, it should be about 1.5 inches ish, depending how much manipulation I got to do to it. But anyway, once I expose this wood, and actually I got to cut this off because that was from the failed piece before, so I'm going to cut about maybe 1/2 inch off over here. Whatever I pour off, cut off over there, I'm going to cut off over here so it stays even, because right now the ship is pretty symmetrically centered from the left to right. So whatever I do to the right, and I know it looks like there's more space over here, but there's not, because I measured from the tip to the edge, and this back to the edge is the same distance. It just looks more over here because it has that curve that goes up, and you see more blue. So it's an eye trick there. Manipulates your brain of thinking that, oh, there's more over there, but it's not. Anyway, I'm going to expose the wood and epoxy, and when I do that, it's not going to match. So I'm going to do a flood coat over the top. I'm going to let it drip over the sides. I'm going to rub it in on the sides. That way the sides of the epoxy can also be wet and get that final coat of epoxy on there, and that'll help seal it. In the bottom, I'm just going to put like a walrus oil finish on the bottom. You're not really going to see that, but I'm going to use that just to protect it anyway. I don't have the time or money or more epoxy just to epoxy the bottom, and it's kind of complicated to do all 6 sides. So we'll just do the top and the 4 sides for 5 sides of epoxy, and then we'll just coat the bottom. But that's pretty much almost it right there. It's almost done. I like the ship though. What do you think about the ship? The metal is not ship metal, so do not think that the metal came from the ship. This is just metal I had at my school, and we just plasma cut out the silhouette of the battleship, and then I put the decals on here for the 35 for BB35 in Texas, because I know they're not to scale, but I did it bigger so you can see it, because those are actually on the ship as it's been remodeled. So I wanted to kind of replicate what it looks like now. And the flag's in there. I know it's just a toothpick flag, so I kind of hid the point, so you're not supposed to know it's a toothpick. But when it moved from San Jacinto down to Galveston, there was an American flag right there behind that mast, just like that. This is also not to scale because that flag was tiny. It was on there when it moved. But this is the smallest flag I could find. But I think it looks pretty cool. What do y'all think?